Yes, and you're waking up with Damo here on 4WK on this Tuesday morning. And, of course, at this time, we'd like to check in with our local historian, and that is, of course, from history out there, Harold Peacock. How are you, mate?
Fantastic, Damo, and a happy second day to early voting for the election. Get it over and done with.
I've done mine already, mate. I was very keen.
Yes, I think there's a lot of people who'll be following you too.
That's it. Now, look, let's not talk about elections or politics, but today, of course, as we know, back in the days of the Depression, boxing was there to entertain, and it saved a lot of people from the worries of the day. But in Toowoomba, it had a bit of a negative effect.
Yeah, look, that's right. And look, what I really love about what I do and what I do for you is researching history, is that I come across some really interesting people who have simply been bypassed by history. And so I become possibly the only person in the world who knows their story. So, look, I love sharing these things about to you. So one of these people was William Robert Wilson, or better known as Spike Wilson. Now, Spike was born in Queensland in 1900 on the 20th birthday of his single mother, Annie. And later in life, he sometimes went by his mother's married name of Wolf. Now, when Spike was 18 years old, he married 16-year-old Emily. And by the time Spike was 23, he had 3 children under 3. Now, Spike made his income as a professional boxer. And in 1924, he fought an opponent at the mining town of Mount Mulligan outside of Mareeba. Now, the pair had met previously, and Spike had knocked him out after a round and a half of hurricane fighting. The second fight ended exactly as the first, with Spike again winning by knockout in 1.5 rounds. But nevertheless, the two were scheduled to fight yet again because something had to entertain the otherwise rowdy miners of the town. Like you say, boxing was really important for entertainment back then. Now, come the 1930s, things had got bad for everyone with the onset of the Great Depression. Now, Australia suffered years of high unemployment, which reached a record high of 30%. So if we think we're bad sometimes now, you only need to go back less than 100 years. Now, Spike stayed on the road working to feed his family by boxing, and his family now included at least 5 children. Now, in 1930, Spike was boxing in Maclean in northern New South Wales. And that's where he was convicted of riotous behaviour and an unprovoked assault. Now, Spike was half boozed when he went up to a man in the street, knocked him down, and sunk his teeth into him.
Wow.
Now, the complainant didn't demand a heavy penalty because Spike was a married man. All the complainant asked for was for protection. So Spike was fined £8 and put on a £20, 12-month good behaviour bond. Now, anyway, Spike left the prying eyes of the New South Wales court system and came back to Queensland. And in 1931, with the Depression in full swing, he was arrested in Gundawindi for stealing £7 and an overcoat. He then appeared in the Toowoomba court and got off.
Wow.
Now, I don't know how he got off, but I think there might have been some sympathy there, simply because, gee, look, there's a lot of crime. People were desperate, and the courts were full and the jails were full. So I think there were some judicious decisions made along the way. Now, come 1935, Spike was living in Upper Edward Street in Brisbane and boxing in the Brisbane Stadium, which is where the Festival Hall used to be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, now, tragedy struck a training partner and Spike was back in court, this time as a witness. 19-year-old John Sheridan, or better known as Curly Sheridan, he collapsed and died while sparring in a George Street gym. Now, Curly was on relief work or working for the dole and had come down from Toowoomba to pursue a boxing career. Now, the promising young Toowoomba product had made his first appearance on the big stage in Brisbane Stadium just a few months earlier. And the cause of his death was believed to have been a blow on the solar plexus, resulting in respiratory failure.
Wow.
Now, a further result of the punch was that Curly's aging father, William Sheridan, who was back up in Toowoomba, he was under pressure to feed the family without the support of his son. And in 1936, Mr. Sheridan was convicted in the Toowoomba courthouse of stealing meat valued at just £1, 7 and 6.
Oh, they were tough.
Oh, it was tough. And a couple of years later, the father pleaded guilty to stealing 4 gallons of petrol at a measly 8 shillings of value. So it was tough times. Now, meanwhile, Spike was seriously injured when the truck he was travelling in wrapped around a light pole in South Brisbane. In 1945, he was a waterside worker when he appeared in court after he lodged his tax return claiming deductions for hospital and funeral expenses for his wife. But she wasn't dead, so that was an issue with the tax office. Now, Spike passed away in 1961 at just 60 years of age. Today, he's buried in Lutwyche on the north side of Brisbane under the name of William Robert Wolfe. And that's a story of 2 boxers, Curly Sheridan and Spike Wilson, who fought through the Depression, lived in Toowoomba or passing through, and I really think we should remember these people because, again, me and now you and the listeners are the only ones in the world that probably know their story. They should be remembered.
Well, mate, it's another great story, and of course, you'll be posting this up on your website.
Absolutely. We'll post up on historyouthere.com, and there'll be photos too of these people to remember.
Fantastic, mate. Appreciate it as always, and we'll look forward to catching up for another very interesting story next week.
Thank you, and it is a really good one as well.
Oh, looking forward to it. You take care and try and keep away from that election, all right?
Yeah, I'm voting.
All right, there we go. Harold Peacock joining us there. Jump onto the website, historyouthere.com, and you'll be able to read that story and many others. We'll be back in a moment with our birthdays.